Hi, everybody, and this is Ed the Pagan with another one of our Halloween Psychics in our Halloween Psychic series, where we bring you some of the greatest psychics from across the world. And today we're working with a particular psychic that we met back in May, and his name is Fluffy. Hi, Fluffy.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. First of all, you're working the psychic fair, and so what type of readings, what are you offering to the world at large?
Well, I'm a psychic reader and I use the tarot. I use a deck called the Wildwood. It's normal tarot with a little bit of an oracle cast to it. And when I do the reading, I am looking at your future, your brightest, best possible future to address the question that you're coming to for. And I am searching timelines, probabilities to see what it is that you could be doing. And I start talking to you, listening to your heart, your mind, your soul, to see what it is that you could be doing to bring yourself into better alignment. And I give recommendations, advice to help you bring you to that point. And I see you and I hear you. And more importantly, I love you because everyone is worthy. And humanity is awesome and we all deserve the best chance possible to be excellent.
That's truly suspended. And so, how did you come to being able to do these practices? What is like your comic book history? A little short story about how we got you here.
I fell in love with a lady who did tarot, and I wanted to have access to her world. And so I picked up I picked up the deck she gave me, and I started using it. And I struggled. I struggled a lot because I was trying to learn it by the book. I was trying to do something mechanical. And 3 years ago, I found out I had a double bone infection in my foot, um, and I almost lost my foot. So the night I went into surgery to see what could be done, I had my darkest night of the soul experience, and an old man with a limp came up to me with a beard that kind of had a hard time seeing out of one eye and asked me what it is I wanted to do. And I asked him to take the foot because I wanted to turn it into a football. I was morbid back then, still am, pretty proud of it. But he also told me that it's going to come at a cost. I'm going to learn how, I am going to have to keep the foot because no one's going to be happy with me if I lose it. They think my world is going to end. So keep the foot. But I'm going to have to learn how to heal myself. And I asked for a teacher, and over the next month, I found a lot of teachers, and I rejected every single one of them. So I asked the universe, I asked the old man for him to teach me. And I went to a pagan convention called Pantheacon in February, and I was drinking, and I was introduced to Odin. And I asked him to teach me again how to be intuitive, how to do tarot, how to move energy. And over the course of the next year and a half, I had a very spiritual experience where I acted on intuition to do things. And I got very good at tarot very quickly. I learned how to look at a person's heart, their soul, and their programming. And I started noticing that the things I said would cause them to glow with self-confidence, pride, intention. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. I could use this. I could make a difference. So I just started doing tarot for whoever needed it. And people kept on giving me feedback that the advice I was giving them was causing positive change to happen in their lives. It happened mostly through serendipity, coincidence, and those changes tend to lead to other positive changes, and all of a sudden, the issues that these people would come to me would start getting resolved. And I was just amazed. And I realized it has nothing to do with me. I'm just the access point for something profound. And this is something I want to do with for majority of my life. It's something that wakes me up in the morning with passion and zest and a whole lot of humor. Because the best way for me to heal is through laughter. That's one of the reasons why I chose the name Fluffy.
That is an unusual name to utilize, especially as being a professional psychic. But it does have your bright side on it. So we got a little bit of your origin story. And so we got, when we've talked about what you're going to do, what is the experience you like to give? What is the value you bring when you do a reading?
For
What is it that
myself?
you, huh?
For myself?
For others. I mean, as people come in, as we know, the Halloween Psychic Fair, people are looking at your advice. What is it that you bring into the reading that that you think brings value, unique value, your value to the reading?
They are seen and heard, and as you said, valued. They feel validated. They get to talk to someone that actually sees them as they are, as their best possible version of themselves. Yeah, I also see them at their worst, but their worst isn't that far from their best because we're all human. And the only difference between your worst and best is just a small change in perspective. You focus on one positive point instead of something that's negative. And this is something I learned by studying the laws of attraction. All you need to do is focus on one positive thing to change your entire outlook, to pivot in a different direction. Last night, I was talking to a lady at the store I work at who is a negative manifester. She could bring all sorts of crazy things into her life, but they're all negative because she focuses on the wrong thing. And she is afraid of the truth. She is afraid of positive things happen. So I told her to tell herself a positive lie. Oh, look, there's a blue squirrel. And I said this every single time in the conversation. And every time she would think about the blue squirrel, her outlook would change because it's a little bit crazy. It's a little bit out of this world. It can't happen. So it's a lie, but it's something you could easily believe. And I said this every single time she said something negative. So I was causing her to associate a negative thought with a positive thought. So every time that thought she was thinking became positive. So those thoughts that she was having that was stuck in a circle that was going around and around were no longer as negative as they could be. So my hope is every time she thought those thoughts, she would visualize a blue squirrel, her favorite color, her favorite animal. So I was introducing a different point of view for her to focus on.
So that's an excellent thing. And so people can get it. So HalloweenPsychics.com, that's the page. You'll see all the readers, and you'll see Fluffy. He's got you see his nice face. You push in, you learn more about him and be able to register for a reading with him. And amongst many things. And plus, once you get an all access pass, there'll be many opportunities. Fluffy likes the lounges, and he's probably going to help us host some of those lounges throughout the festival.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. So one last thing, this is a magical Halloween. I mean, in the sense of we start the month of Halloween with a full moon on October 1st. We end it with a full moon. So it's kind of bracketed there and a lot of energy. Is there anything that you particularly like about the Halloween season? Is there, what draws you to it?
I like pumpkins. More than anything, I love pumpkins. I keep on going around to different places that sell pumpkins, and I'm rummaging around for the magical pumpkin for me. And I had a girlfriend that studied African hoodoo, defensive magic, and she introduced me to the idea that pumpkins are prosperity symbols because they're a symbol of the harvest, and they're full of seeds, lots of possibility, a lot of probability, and lots of potential. And I am going to use that pumpkin for myself as a point of prosperity. And it's going to sit on my altar and do a lot of energy work with it. And when it rots, I'm going to give it back to the earth as a thank you. And I'm always giving out pumpkins to people that have had prosperity work done on it. And anyone that wants to could grab a pumpkin and come into a Zoom room with me, and I'll bless their pumpkin in the same manner. So fall, prosperity, intention.
That's an interesting explanation. During this Halloween Psychic Fair, I mean, a month is a long time. We'll be presenting ideas like this. And we'll probably flesh this one out. I have not heard that one before. So that one's very, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Fluffy. And I hope that everybody does. Do you have a Facebook page where people can check out?
I do. It's linked to the profile on the Halloween Fair website.
So HalloweenPsychics.com is your direct line Halloween Psychic Fair for the entire package. And you can come out and check it out. Readings start at $25. Very reasonable. And we're very good to our psychics, and you're helping out the community. One last thing, as Fluffy was mentioning pumpkins, we are raising money in part for a food and seed bank grant program that we provide money to and income to small practices of food banks, seed banks, and things of that nature. So thank you very much. And let me be the first to say, happy Halloween, Fluffy.
Thank you. Happy Halloween, too.